Happy spring, everyone. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jennifer Huber, and I've been documenting my experience of using Mounjaro to manage my type 2 diabetes since June, July of 2022. Now, before I get into this week's update, I just want to remind you about my disclosure that I am not a medical professional and I'm just sharing my personal experience about using Mounjaro to manage my type 2 diabetes. For all medical questions, please contact your healthcare provider, and I'm happy to answer questions about my personal experience using the medication. Also, I have no financial relationship with the drug manufacturer Eli Lilly or Lilly. So I want to say thank you. Usually I go into the update, but I want to thank you all first. I've been getting caught up on my comments and that, and I am blown away with the support from everyone and the words of encouragement, and I just want to thank you so much. I did go pick some flowers, so enjoy these virtual. They are real flowers, but enjoy these. I thought these were pretty. I picked these at Hunsader Farms in Bradenton yesterday. They're mostly zinnias, and it's the first day of spring tomorrow, so I thought it would be appropriate to bring these out and say thank you. All right, let's get into this week's update. You know how I was saying it was like really hot in Florida? Well, now today it is really cold. It was a high of 68 today, and I'm under my porch or patio or whatever to record the video for today, but it is refreshing. It feels nice. You know, it's better than the 90s than it has been. All right, so I just finished up week 38 of using Mounjaro, and at the week 22 at the 10 milligram dose. Now, I did not lose any weight this week, which is what I wanted, and I didn't gain any weight. When people ask me if I check my weight every day, I say no, but I did check my weight on Wednesday, and I saw 136 on my scale, and that had me concerned. But today on Sunday, I'm back to 138, and I am okay with that. So, I'm going into the maintenance mode of Mounjaro, and so that's the 10 milligram dose. So I have I have 2 more doses left before I need to get a new box. But after I inject myself tomorrow, I will have the prescription refilled for the next box at 10 milligrams. Exercise, I am back to walking regularly with my dog, yoga, and I did a lot of yard work yesterday. Oh my gosh, I was just kind of feeling like sluggerella this week, and I don't know if it was the time change or something, but I was so tired at night. I would fall asleep on the couch on my laptop, and then I was just dragging in the morning. But even though I was going to bed around 9:30, 10 o'clock, I was still so tired. But Friday evening, I just had this burst of energy, and I have been working 6 days a week since early February, so I finally had 2 days off this past weekend. And I don't know if it was just the anticipation on Friday night just keeping me up, but I was up till like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I had all this energy on Saturday, so I did a lot of yard work. I went and picked over 4 pounds of blueberries, and I had to do a lot of walking with that. So what else? So I was just very ambitious over the weekend, and I have some energy, and hopefully this energy is going to stick with me. But that's for my exercise summary. And I know last week I mentioned that perhaps because of the extra hour of sunlight that I would go out and do something. I didn't. I have no regrets either. All right, nutrition. I'm still being mindful about what I'm consuming. There's a lot of temptation out there still. St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day, I had a coworker. She brought in corned beef and cabbage, and it was so good. So I felt that my contribution should be St. Patrick's Day themed donuts. So I did go get a dozen donuts. However, we cut them up, and I perhaps had the equivalent of half a donut, and I'm okay with that. Everything is okay in moderation. But I am being more mindful of my sugars, trying to incorporate more vegetables into my my daily nutrition plan. I did mention that I picked over 4 pounds of blueberries yesterday, and one of my favorite ways of preparing them is mixing them with other fruit. I picked up some Plant City, Florida strawberries, and then I drizzled some honey, and then I added some lime zest and mixed it all together, and that is just so good. That's a great dessert, or just anytime craving something sweet. And I actually learned that recipe from a diabetic chef, because I took a diabetic meal course several years ago at where I used to work. So I always keep that in mind. You could also add melon or pineapple to that. But anyway, so I had some of that yesterday with my fresh blueberries. And then I also made some yogurt. I made some goat milk yogurt. I made a batch last night, half a batch, I should say. And it turned out runnier than the regular cow's milk, but it's still delicious. So I'm making another batch today. I had started with a different starter for today. I actually went out and I bought some Cabot yogurt with the live bacteria, and the starter that I used yesterday was yogurt that I made a couple weeks ago. So maybe it was runnier because the starter, perhaps the bacteria were dying, or maybe that's just the consistency of milk goat yogurt. And I did use the raw goat milk as well. All right. What else? Nutrition. Oh, so I have been watching the TV show Alone. It's a reality show, and they basically put people in extreme conditions and they have to survive by themselves. And the reason why I started getting hooked on that is I had a business trip a couple weeks ago, and I watched 3 episodes on my flights, and I was basically so invested that I had to find out how it ended. So I've been watching the series as I go along, and watching that series just got me into this mode of I need to prepare more. I need to, I don't know, stockpile things. Not stockpile, but anyway, I did restock my pantry yesterday with like canned beans and canned vegetables and some soup. But I made beef jerky the other day, and I am cooking ribs in the crock pot right now. So, and I also made dog biscuits. So I just had this burst of energy and just being really resourceful. I don't know what it is. I don't think the apocalypse is happening or something bad's gonna happen, but I just have this urge to make things and be prepared, so to say, right? All right. Glucose. I didn't measure my glucose this week, but I did measure it this morning, and it was 85. I don't remember when it's ever been in the 80s. I know it's been in the 80s, but that's been years ago, so I was very excited to start the day off with an 85 glucose reading. The next time I have my A1C done, read, or I don't know what the terminology is, but that will be the end of March. So the last A1C I had in January was 6.0, and when I started this experience, my glucose was 8.2. So Mounjaro is helping with that. And as I've mentioned before, being on Mounjaro in this whole journey, and I know it's in partnership with myself in that I'm taking responsibility and eating better and moving more. And this whole combination, it has improved my health, lowered my A1C so far. I am off one of my diabetic medications, the glimepiride. I'm still taking metformin. I take 1,000 milligrams twice a day. But last week, my doctor took me off my high blood pressure medicine, the lisinopril, so I'm no longer taking that. This has reversed my non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and I'm waiting to get off my cholesterol medication because my numbers are going down. So yeah, it's a combination of the medication, but also there's less fat on me, and I'm not eating as much junk or just eating much at all, and I'm moving more. So I think all of that combined is helping to improve my life. All right, side effects. I haven't mentioned side effects lately, but I do my injections on Monday morning. So late Monday night, early Tuesday morning, or sometimes Tuesday night, I'll just feel a little nauseous. And I really haven't felt that in a week or so, but I did feel it this past week. Also, I had a little bit of issues with constipation, so that reminded me that I need to make sure that I'm keeping hydrated, along with eating my roughage, eating my vegetables and my fruit. So that is up for the standard update. If you caught my shorts or you've been following along with these videos, you know that I had a biopsy on the nodule on my thyroid last week. And unfortunately, I don't have the results yet. No news is good news, right? I don't know. So perhaps I will get those results this week. So basically, the lab needs to give those results to my doctor. Then my doctor needs to pass those along to me. The procedure, basically, I was placed on a medical bed and I felt a little bit inverted. And then the doctor was looking down on me, and he took 5 samples. And I know you can't see it. It was very, very small, very, very small. There was a little bit of bruising, but he went in the same hole but took 5 different samples from the nodule, and they did numb it up with lidocaine. They injected that, but I still felt pressure. And the weird thing is that it kind of felt like it was in my ear, so that was very strange. And then the lidocaine wore off pretty quickly. I had to attend a luncheon right after that, and I felt very uncomfortable. I should have been icing it, but I didn't, and it wasn't super hard to talk, but it was just like a little sore throat, so to say. Every time I swallowed, I could feel a little bit of pain. And I took the Band-Aid off when I got home that night, and that's the video that I posted. So you see like the butterfly Band-Aid, and then just a very, very tiny dot. And you probably can't even see in the video. And then there's a little bit of bruising. So the bruising the next day, but it was probably like the size of an eraser head. So by Saturday, 5 days later, I didn't have any pain when I swallowed anymore. So anyway, time will tell. I'm being optimistic about it. And thank you all for your concerns and wondering about it. You know, for those of you who have been with me since the beginning of these videos, we've been through a lot together. And it hasn't even been a year, but you've been with me on this weight loss and my numbers and dealing with insurance and figuring out the savings card. You've been with me through a hurricane. You've been with me through a blizzard. And I just want to say thank you again. Thank you for your well wishes. You're all part of my family in some way. All right. I made notes. I have to make notes. All right. Okay, so I have something exciting planned. So it's the end of March, and spring break was last week in some areas. It's next week in some areas. So a lot of my coworkers have been taking off, and I've only had half an afternoon off since Christmas time, or since New Year's. So I'm getting a little anxious, and I want to take time off, but I'm leading a project, and the project will be over in mid-April. So if I do take time off, I know I really won't be able to enjoy that time off because I will be needing to follow up on my time off. So I decided that a weekend in April, I am going to go do something that I haven't done before. And this activity requires me to be in a bathing suit, be in a swimsuit. So I went swimsuit shopping this week. I got something fun. I got a one piece, and then I did order a tankini and like swim shorts off of Amazon. So I'm looking forward to that, and thinking about it gives me a little bit of an adrenaline rush, and that's really what I need. I'm not the type of person who can just go to a spa and spend a weekend relaxing. Maybe I would like it. I guess I've never tried it, but I would feel like I am wasting an opportunity. I would have that FOMO, that fear of missing out. So I am going to do something that I've never done before, and it will definitely give me an adrenaline rush. And I'm not going to tell you what it is until I do it. You can feel free to comment as to what you think it is. It's happening on April 1st, which is April Fool's Day. So perhaps I'll be teasing you all as to what that is, whether it's an April Fool or whether it's something that I'm really doing. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm just feeling, a renewed sense of, I don't want to say hope, but just energy and optimism. With maybe there's something with the daylight savings change and the more daylight. Maybe it's just having 2 days off and kind of to think and process things is just giving me this renewed energy. I still feel that I have a lot on my plate going on, but I feel it's more manageable now. So I think that's all I have to say this week. But yes, that's all I have to say this week. Again, thank you. Thank you so much for being part of this journey with me. And again, if you're taking Mounjaro for your type 2 diabetes like I am, our journeys are going to look a little bit different. We're going to be losing different amounts of weight at different paces, our glucose levels, our A1C. I know a lot of you are just kicking it, and I am so proud of you. I'm a little envious, but I am so proud of you. And, keep it up. Don't get discouraged, especially if you're just starting out with Mounjaro. It can be a little discouraging, especially if you're going online and seeing all these other people losing weight right away. Don't be discouraged. I've said it all along, in that losing weight slowly is better than losing it rapidly. So that's all I have to say for this week, other than this top. So I had to go into Target because I needed a pair of black shoes kind of at the last minute, and I bought some shoes. I thought they were ugly, but I figured, hey, if they're at Target, they must be in style. But anyway, I went through the clearance section of the tops for women, and this top was $9. So for $9, why not, right? I need a new top. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having success with Mounjaro. I hope you're staying healthy. Have a great week, and don't forget to be kind to others and be kind to yourself. Thanks for watching, and happy spring. Bye.